Welcome to the highlights and match reaction show for the UEFA Champions League. We are sponsored by our partners for the entire season at Topps Kick 23. Topps Kick are the official digital collectibles app of the UEFA Champions League. Topps Kick is back for the 22-23 season, where you can collect and trade your favorite players from across the Champions League with football fans all around the world. The app has new packs available every week, brand new cards, original artworks, and classic top card designs. Throughout the course of this season, I want to build with you the ultimate Champions League squad with Topps Kick. So get the app downloaded right now. It's available worldwide and it is free. I'm going to be playing along throughout the entire Champions League season from tonight right and through to the final, and I want to see you there. The link is available in the description below to download the Topps Kick 23 app. You can also scan the QR code that will be on the screen throughout the course of this stream. But make sure like buttons are being smashed. You're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Big shout out to Topps. Let's do this. What we have just witnessed tonight in the Champions League was very, very special indeed. 7 goals for Liverpool, a 13-minute hat-trick from Mo Salah. Spurs pretty much seal themselves into the knockout stages with a comfortable win and a brace with a sensational goal from Son. And Barcelona, Inter Milan, one of the games to live on through the ages of football. Milan were through. Barca were back in it. Milan knocked them back out. A Lewandowski equalizer. And then someone might even say match fixing towards the end. I don't even know how on God's green earth. How did Inter not walk away with the win? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on these epic games tonight. I'm so excited. I was ready to be like, get out, De Jong, Busquets, get out. It didn't happen. I am joined. I've got a great panel tonight. Of course, joined by Jessica Black. And he's back in the studio. KJ is here. How you doing, bro?
Yo, I'm upset, bro. I'm upset. I'm upset. Inter Milan, you are a disgrace. And I hope you get relegated. You know what I'm saying? That is a disgrace. How have they knocked out Barcelona? Like, how? Like, I'm disappointed. I actually think that was match fiction, Terry. I think Barcelona reverted back to their old ways of being crooks, and clearly during that little extra time, slipped some money to somebody who gave the signal to make sure they didn't score that goal, because there's no other way to explain it. There's no other way to explain how that, I don't even know who that was. You square that ball. You square it. Like, you have to, this is Harry Kane, Sterling moment. You have to square that ball.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm upset. Other than that, I'm good, Terry.
No, I bet. By the way, I want to apologize. It was a 6-minute hat trick, not 13 minutes. I looked at the timings and saw the 87th minute goal for Harvey Elliott. Apologies. 6-minute hat trick for Mo Salah tonight, Jess.
Is that the fastest hat trick in Champions League history or no?
I can't think of a faster one. I can't.
There's no way. Like, I mean, that's insane. Going from, somebody that people were questioning form to a 6-minute hat trick. That's insane. But that's the quality of somebody of Mo Salah's, quality. Like, he's obviously a really good player going through a difficult time, but this might be exactly what he needs to start putting those goals away in every single match from here on out. I mean, I never doubted him. That's just me. I never doubted him.
No, listen, I basically looked at the situation the other day, and I saw Lee Gunner, and he's saying to me, he told you he's washed, I told you he's a bad player. And what everybody was doing to Mo Salah is what they do to all the players that they don't rate or don't like aesthetically, or they don't see as some of their stars. What they do, and it's very stereotypical, is these top players go for a run of bad form where they stop scoring goals. And that's the proof. That is that I told you he was not a good football player. Mo Salah is world class. Mo Salah is one of the best attackers the Premier League has ever seen. He's just been on a run of poor form. It's also coincided with Mane leaving, which this notion that Mane made him a better player is true and untrue at the same time. Mane didn't make Mo Salah better at scoring goals, better at creating, better at dribbling. He made Liverpool a better team, and all players are more likely to flourish in a better team. So as soon as the team gets worse, everybody's impacted by it. That's just natural and normal within football. But Mo Salah is top class. No, you don't score 6-minute hat tricks in the Champions League if you're a bang average player, if you're purely a stat padder. You know, the word stat padder is thrown around like crazy. If everyone could stat pad, everyone would have great stats, and it's impossible. So Mo Salah, for me, one of the most disrespected players in Europe. I'm kind of, as a Man United fan, I'm not happy. But for someone who rates Mo Salah, it's another notch on the bedpost in relation to that. And some will say, you know, it's just Rangers, to be fair. Cool. Can you show me everybody else's 6-minute hat tricks against Rangers, please, in the Champions League? If you can show me more than one, £100,000 cash in your bank account. That's how I know you're all chatting shit. It's no mean feat. Who else got a 6-minute hat trick against Rangers in the Champions League? Anyone know?
No one, bro.
Anyone know?
6-minute hat trick.
Come on now.
The Champions League.
Come on now. It needs that. And so a few people call me flip-flops. You've never seen me turn on Mo Salah. I'll laugh when he has a bad game. I'm a Man United fan, but I think he gets far too much, far too much disrespect, put on his name whatsoever. And you can see here statistically, we've got a breakdown here for you. I mean, what a game. What a game that he had tonight, as you can all see there. Those 3 goals, from coming onto the football pitch, did absolutely fantastically well. He did. And, more of that to come. And listen, I wish tonight I had a ×4 card from Kicks. I wish I had the ×4 card, because that would have been a lot of points in the fantasy team tonight. And by the way, how did you do in your fantasy tonight?
I remember I joined in late, unfortunately, people, but
Bad
I
excuse.
did do some crafting. So if you guys are feeling like you haven't got the cards enough to get you to those high points, do some crafting. Get some rid of your trash cards, make some new ones, and I'm telling you, it's worth it. I got a cheeky Haaland, 1.5.
I know you did. But I did it right tonight,
Nice. So, yeah.
I've jumped up, right, to 435th. You might laugh, but I was like in 12,000th place a few nights ago. So I did very, very well. I'm very, very happy with my progression on Top Kicks. You can also download it now by scanning that QR code on the screen or clicking on the link pinned in our live comments section to get that done. But yeah, Mo Salah, sensational tonight. He was. Spurs brilliant as well tonight. Yeah, I know they conceded late on. I know, and went 3-2, but the game was over. Son scoring again, and I mean, he's second, Spurs is third, the volley on the left foot. Sensational from my man.
Yeah, what's funny? Yeah, even during the game, we was having a conversation like, is Son really any different to Marcus Rashford? Because the first goal was very Marcus Rashford-esque. Like, you could see Rashford scoring that kind of goal as well as Son. And we're like, okay, so if we're going to look at the way Rashford plays and where that Son plays, is there anything different? That second goal showed the difference. I'm not saying Marcus Rashford could never score that goal, but Son
I'm saying he could never score that goal.
No, listen, there might be a chance, but Son, what he's got over players like Rashford who are similar to him in that sense of they've like a lot of running behind, lots of pace and lots of finishing. His Son's technique is up there with the best. And
yeah,
the only thing that lets him down is the fact that he's not consistent. I know Spurs fans will hear this and be like, oh, but he is, look at X, Y, and Z. No, he's not world-class consistent. We know this. He's very good in lots of patches. But when he is good, he is actually so fun to watch. Like, I love watching him in Son when he's like on top form. Like, honestly, it's amazing. That volley today, beautiful.
Yeah, he's definitely the type of player that you like to watch. Because he's exciting. He's quick. He has good skills, and he has great ball striking techniques. So yeah, I think you're spot on with that. And very professional performance, I think, from Spurs today. They weren't really under very much threat. I know Frankfurt scored first, but Spurs are probably one of the most dangerous teams the 5 to 10 minutes after the other team scores, because that's when they come out and get you, and then they score, and then they sit back again, and they kind of lure you in again. And Frankfurt just didn't really have the answers. And so very professional performance from Spurs. And yeah, I mean, they should be really excited. They're top of their group now. And yeah, looking good.
Cruising that. But what you said there, just like after they concede, they're one of the best teams, like in that 5-10 minute period.
Yeah.
Then it makes you wonder, why can't they do that for longer periods? I'm not saying for the whole game, because that's insane. Like, that's hard. Like, Man City don't even need for a whole game. But why is it that it takes them to concede a goal for them to kick into gear and play the football we know they can play with the players that they've got, and then for them to sit back again or wait for a red card for them to get another advantage.
That's Antonio Conte. It's Antonio Conte's tactics. And most of the pragmatic managers are like it. And we've all seen our teams play pragmatic at some point in this last 5 years, as in us sitting in this room now. Even Arteta in his earlier days when he had to would do it. You'd score, then you'd sit back. Oli did it too often. Jose did it all the time. Antonio Conte does it. You get that goal, you sit back and absorb, and you try and catch a team on the counter. That is how he plays football. Hard, resolute to break down. And it is sometimes frustrating because you think, especially against a team like Frankfurt, no disrespect, that Spurs have pound for pound better technically gifted players. If they put their foot down and worked hard and were aggressive and assertive, they would score more goals. There's no doubt about it. But it's just Antonio Conte. It's how he wants to play. And I did want to. We put the graphics up there of Harry Kane. I was just thinking as well. It's another goal for him, another assist for him tonight. And I think the talking point all week has been how sorry a lot of people have felt for Harry Kane, because he's scoring and assisting at such a brilliant rate this season, but no one's talking about it because of Haaland, and that's not a dig at him. It's just the truth. And he has been brilliant all year. And of course, a lot of people want to talk about Son tonight. Scored a brilliant brace, sensational second goal. But Harry Kane is almost a bit of an unsung hero this season for Premier League football in general. Like, he isn't one of the star names anybody's talking about. Maybe we're used to him performing like this. The Haaland situation, he's being overshadowed, as it were. Like, Son got all the applause for that really quick hat-trick against Leicester. But throughout the course of the season, again, Tottenham's best player, Harry Kane, and another good night for him. I mean, his Champions League record is phenomenal as well in terms of the goal outputs. Of course, he's got to go on to win the thing, but a comfortable win in the end tonight for Tottenham. And maybe after that Sporting game, it was a little bit, are they going to go through? Are they going to be on the Thursday night brigade? But yes, Spurs are through now, no doubt. No doubt.
It's still possible. It's still possible. It's not like it's cut and clear and dry. Like the 6 points clear is done. They're 3 points clear of everyone else? I'm telling you, it's possible, bro. I'm telling you that Europa night is still calling Spurs. I'm going to say that now.
I highly doubt it. I think they'll get on to the knockout rounds. It'll be interesting to see who they get. I'm sure they'll get somebody easy route like they always do. No, I'm just joking, but I think they're pretty much through. And they besides the Sporting game, I think they've been pretty professional. And I think they've conserved a lot of energy, not pressing a lot, just kind of doing what they need to do to get through. And so, yeah, Spurs probably be really happy with that. But
no doubt about it whatsoever. Viewers, we want to get your take. We want to get your views. We want to get your opinions on this as well. Let's go to some of your super chats that have come through on the show so far this evening. Let's relax. We might be losing 7-1 next Sunday. And we'll come on to that a little bit later in the show in terms of how Spurs fans are feeling. Even Barca levers can't save them from Thursday nights. Yeah, they could still be in that situation. They really could. Kane shouldn't be 4-2 to Spurs. My team are top.
Well, he missed the
should
penalty.
Should be. Yeah, he missed the penalty. No, I get that. I just didn't. When I read something that isn't written right, as a dyslexic, it's very hard for my brain. Sorry. Love seeing Barca failing. Those damn cheaters.
We'll talk about Barca in a minute. I'm still upset. I'm still upset. They should be in the pits right now.
They should. Hi, Terry. I'm new here. So sorry if it's a stupid question. Last time you said Klopp is broken. Then how are they winning 7-1 now? Listen, it's not a stupid question. It's a very good question. I'm going to say that, look, we weren't going to go on to this topic just now, but I'll say it anyway. Beating Rangers tonight was sensational. Whether Trent's really injured or you're giving him a break for a few weeks is irrelevant to me. You brought Gomez in. It took a little bit of time for your defense to settle over that first half. You could still see the burning embers of the Arsenal beating in terms of how you were outplayed, and you started to settle. But I still think there are big cracks, big holes, big problems in your team. Beating Rangers is great. What Mo Salah did celebrate it is sensational. But Liverpool Football Club, the only credit and commodity they deal in is trophies and challenging for them those trophies. And with the way Liverpool are playing, with the frequency that they're conceding those first goals, the way I see some of your manager behaving, the book that came out from the assistant manager, there's big cracks at Liverpool. And I think to act like they're not there because of a really good win, I think would be very, very irresponsible of everybody associated to Liverpool, including your supporters. Great win tonight. But how much does it really mean in the grand scheme of things? I'd love to get your opinion, everybody watching, and everyone in the room.
Okay, you guys, like, great win, but this is the same team that beat Bournemouth 9-0. And you still have issues when you have to play against teams that carry huge threat going the other way. Bournemouth didn't really challenge you guys in that way. And I think it papered over some of the cracks, made you think that you were fine, and then you go up against teams that actually have threat. And what the main issue for Liverpool is not the attack. The attack is basically the same in terms of output. And you're missing Mane, but still scoring a lot of goals. It's what's going on behind that. And you're going up against probably one of the biggest tests that you'll have, which is the best team in the country. A lot of people think best team in the world right now. And it's Rangers. Like, you know what I mean? It's Rangers. They didn't actually have the end product. And in the first half, they did have chances that, like, if they probably are ruining those chances, Rangers. So it's not all fixed.
It's definitely not all fixed. And Klopp has still got a lot of things to sort out. Like, do you bring back Trent for the Man City game? Because I don't think you do. Like, Joe Gomez is what you need to do right now. They just need to go back to basic and just learn how to be solid again, because they conceded the first goal again in another game against a lesser opposition again. So clearly there's an issue there at the back. Klopp needs to go back to basics, become solid, because they've got the attackers, they've got the pace on the counter-attack to hurt teams. It won't hurt Klopp to go back to that kind of style. You know what I mean? Go back to a style where when you're going forward, you could score a load of goals. When you're defending, though, they're solid. They won the league not because they was scoring left, right, and center, because they had the best defense in the league that year. And there's how many 1-0s were in that season that they won the league. It just shows that that's the issue.
No, listen, I agree. And listen, Trent wasn't the only reason they were conceding goals. We all bantered that. Taking him out is one step towards fixing it. Even when he's back fit, I don't think he deserves to come back into the team, because the last thing you need on top of your team not playing well is an individual dropping disgraceful performances. And we know that as United fans, we're playing poorly as a team, and we had a left back and a centre back that were dropping clangers every match. It adds insult to injury. So, listen, I think it's a good night for Liverpool, but I'm sure we're going to hear from Liverpool fans on the air in a minute. Let's get their opinions and views. Barca bought the brown envelopes back, is what's been said there. Inter need a draw in their last 2 games to knock Barca out. That's why they're still essentially, you can't say Barca are out, but
they are.
They are, all intents and purposes, they are out of the Champions League, and it's not worked out, De Jong, is it? When the hell did Alexis Sanchez start playing for Marseille? This guy is back on form.
Oh, hey, listen. United rejects will never be defeated.
Hi, Terry. Did leg day at the gym and was the best workout I've ever experienced in a long time. My question is, do you now think Liverpool will get something against Man City at Anfield this weekend? Of course, I released my previews on Fridays, so make sure you're tuning into the Football Terrace for that. I will keep my powder dry until that point, but I'm very, very excited about the game indeed. Who I think should be scared of who on Sunday will be revealed on Friday, Chike. The scared range I think we're going to start like a playlist of the scared range. The scared range is coming. Jota got the fastest hat-trick of assists, 6 minutes. So there we go. Fair play. I might test. I'll give him a little text. Well done, Jots. It doesn't matter. Barcelona are done anyway. They ain't beating Bayern. The fact that number 21 bum who was on the bench again is coming on to the Europa fills me with joy. Ten Hag laughing tonight is what's said by Joshua.
Going to speak more about Barca in the show.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a bit. I want to get through these super chats. Yeah. Terry, did you see Napoli? I'm gutted having Megamind as a coach, but Napoli deserve all the praise. They showed the best football on this Champions League run. Napoli have been sensational so far. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad to see Ajax failing after. I mean, they committed robbery in the summer. They committed daylight robbery, armed robbery, in fact, and they're walking around scot-free. So I'm not sad to see Ajax absolutely in the mud. And it shows how good 1 Hag, 2 Hag, 3 Hag, 10 Hag, or after 10 Hag is, because he's gone and they have fallen hard, bruv. Hard.
The Man United, like, revenge starter pack is definitely hating, wanting Barcelona to do bad and wanting Frankie de Jong to stay on the bench and Ajax to do bad as well.
Don't get interested.
It's true.
They're going to get I've been on Barca's case because they're crooks at it. I actually don't mind that Ajax, but to be fair, they try to replace our Lex Luthor with flipping Mega Mind, bro. So,
bro, do you know what it is for me? When David Moyes joined, we had this situation where Roberto Martinez went to Everton and they became brilliant for that one season by their standards, and we went backwards. So it would be really nice for us to improve exponentially and Ajax to go backwards, because it makes our manager look even better. So yeah, it's pure bias. Good luck dealing with Barcelona on the Europa nights. We were saying this. Juve, Barca, Atletico Madrid, Ajax, Man United, Arsenal. There's a part of me. Listen, Spurs are going to go through. I'm going to make this. If those teams all come down, it is never bigger than the Champions League. But I guarantee you, some of those matches, if those teams face each other, get more views than certain Champions League games at the same stage.
It would be the best European competition of all time.
It's like
all those teams go into the Europa League. I'm taking it.
Right, like a big mid-off as well. Like none of them are really at the peak of their powers, but they're fighting it out.
Whoever wins that Europa League, if all them teams go down, it has to be like the greatest Europa League run. Like,
it's not even going to be any of us. It's going to be one of the other teams that are not. Nobody's even talking about it. It always is one of those teams.
Yeah, I hear you. It all depends on the runs. Harry Kane's golden boy of England, lol, from the penalty spot. Yeah, I mean, missed a penalty, but he
scored a penalty as well.
So. But I don't think a player should ever take 2 penalties in one game.
No, they should, because we've seen it change before and people miss anyway. So
maybe. Barca, Juve, United, Ajax, all in the Europa League. Yes, I know, the Europa Nights. By the way, to Conte, this is how you play with 10 men. No fear at all, is what Jerome has got to say there. Even though they won tonight, he's digging out Antonio Conte. Callum is saying a madness over on the Coppice. Fair enough. We'll have a chat, look at that later. Barca going forward are really good, but Piqué and Garcia are just terrible. Ter Stegen saved them too many times. Inter could have scored more. As a neutral, it was a good game to watch. Loved every minute. And we did. We had like all the games. Well, we had 3 games on here. I don't think you can watch more than 3. And we were enjoying them all. And there was a moment tonight when Rangers were winning, when Frankfurt were winning, and you're thinking, oh, this could be an epic night. But in the end, Mo Salah and co, Harry Kane and Son kind of ruined that. But let's go to some calls. I want to know what you're all thinking and feeling and saying. We'll get your super chats, some more super chats out later. First up, the Don is here with us. Dom Hussam. Actually, before I do that, I've got to change a bit of the background. I'm trying to do all this, and I can't ever see which one I meant to do. But I'm gonna guess it is this one. Dom Hassan's coming out now. How you doing, mate?
Hi. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. We won today's game. After Arfield scored that goal, my life was flashing in front of my eyes. I was thinking the worst thing possible. You get me? Whoa, just playing in the back of my head, like we're coming, baby. But thank God, you get me. We pulled it together. I just don't understand how in the same game we play the most tragic football and then play Brazil 1974 football in the same game. It makes no sense. We like it genuinely, like Mike Football Club is just an absolute joke at this point in time. Like it's just, we're either absolutely scintillating or we're absolutely crap, you know? We can see the first goal and I'm thinking in the back of my head, oh shit, Terry's going to ask me about Trent again. And then I realize he ain't on the pitch. So, you know, it's just, I'm very happy we won today. Mo Salah scored a hat-trick. If we are to do anything this season, and by do anything, I mean actually get top 4, because do anything in terms of title is already over for us. Let's cut the crap. I need Salah to have a good season. We need him to drag us through like in 2021. Roberto Firmino has been having an incredible season for us, going a little bit under the radar. He's been scoring goals as well for us this season. So look, today's performance was a very good one. Now that leaves us only needing a draw from the next 2 games to go through. And I hope that we do get that draw. We got a game away at Ajax. You know, you two United fans, you don't know who you want to support in that game because you hate Ajax just as equally. So you know,
Ajax every day, baby. Ajax every day. Come on.
Yeah, but listen, how do you think this is going to set you up for Sunday?
The Sunday game is gonna be a simulation, Terry. You know, you're gonna tune in, and it's just gonna be, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I never come on the terrace or anywhere and say we're actually gonna lose a game. But I'm sorry, I cannot be delusional. I actually cannot be delusional. Like, City are just gonna run rings around us. This is the worst time possible to play City. Like, you know, if after a game like this, Terry, you would want to play like a Fulham, like a Brentford to gain confidence and get on a winning streak. But I cannot say anything against City. I'm predicting a loss. You know, for the first time in a while, probably since Napoli, I'm probably predicting a loss, and I do expect us to lose that game. But it is what it is. Our season starts West Ham. The City game, we can just forfeit, and I would happily take that forfeit. So, yeah, that's my
literally. Are you saying there's like no hope? What happened to like Klopp being this anti kind of cure to Man City and all the times that you've beat them, even though there's been times where they've been better than you and you've still beaten them like in the league twice and in the Champions League. So you're telling me there's like no hope at all? Like,
yes, there is actually no hope at all. Like, I do not have a bone in my body that believes we're gonna get 3 points. So yeah, I'm giving up for Sunday. I'm giving up. But we'll be back.
I hear you.
We'll be back here.
I hear ya. Listen, Dom, always good to get you on, bro. And we'll chat to you again soon. Take care, mate. Thank you, bro. All the best. I've seen a lot of people cook him in the comments. I like, just support the Reds. I have to say this. You're not supporting your club by predicting a loss. I get called out all the time when I think United are going to lose. So you're too negative. Me giving a prediction doesn't make it going to happen or not. You know, I think delusion. I think overconfidence. I think ignoring problems at your football club is a much bigger issue than fans that are speaking their minds. So Sam is someone that is positive when it's right to be positive, and he calls his club out when they need to be called out. And I think that's something that should be commended as opposed to kind of challenged, as many people do. It's not as though he doesn't give credit when credit is due. I know there are some fans of some clubs on socials that no matter what happens, how often they win, they're always annoyed about something. Sam isn't that. So I think it's a little bit sort of disingenuous to call him out. And I know Jurgen Klopp has said today that no one should ever comment on Liverpool again unless they have an inside source in the dressing room. So that basically means every Liverpool fan channel's got to stop. No fans can make any noise at the stadium, because unless you know what's going on in the dressing room, your opinion is worth nothing. I think that's a very poor message for a manager to send to his supporters. Equally, it's a very poor message for the manager to talk about a Liverpool midfield legend in Didi Hamann, and he is a Liverpool legend. And I think I disagree with that. Sam can say what he wants, and if he doesn't think they're going to win, he's allowed to have that opinion. Equally, if they do win, he's allowed to celebrate the victory, because man's just being as honest as he can be. So yeah, I wanted to defend him there because I think he's right too. Most goals scored for an English club in the Champions League, 38 by Mo Salah, but he's finished according to the experts.
Is that true?
Okay. Go ahead.
Wait, we have to check.
No, we can check it, but I think it is true that he's 38 goals. He was closing in on it. He's the highest. It will be the highest. Rooney was one of the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that stat is true.
That's mad.
But this is why this is what annoys me when people say he's not a good footballer. What people are actually saying is he doesn't play in a way that I find aesthetically pleasing. Mm-hmm. That is what that claim means. Point blank, straight facts. It means I don't quite enjoy it. It's a little bit like someone that likes hip hop, someone who likes drill, someone who likes a little bit of garage, someone who doesn't mind a little bit of R&B, saying Pavarotti can't sing, bruv. Pavarotti is such a bad singer because he can't do what Jay-Z does. That is exactly what I look at when people say someone like Mo Salah is a bad footballer or he can't play football. It's impossible to be, whether he's the highest according to that statistic or one of the highest, you can't be at his age one of the highest goal scorers in Champions League history for an English club without being a very good football player. It's impossible. Your personal opinion counts for nothing. Explain how he scores all these goals in the hardest cup competition in the world and has scored more goals than players that you believe are vastly superior. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting tired of the kind of eye test merchants always talking about these players are not that good because they can't do this or it doesn't look like that. And we're seeing it with Haaland as well, that he's being, invalidated or unjustified, in terms of conversations around how great he is and how great Salah is because they don't like the way it looks. Newsflash, there are players that are not scoring as much as Salah and Haaland that would trade what they can do for what they, for the goals, because that's the hardest thing. And that's all that people will really remember. At the end of the day, people are going to remember how many goals you scored, especially when you play in those front positions. They're going to say, well, what did you contribute? And if all you contributed is some step overs, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about your step overs, right?
Hey, listen, apparently step overs are very important in the game of football. Because the way that these eye test merchants will talk, it makes it sound like they're more important than goals. Like it's insane.
Exactly. And if you have both, I mean, there's players that obviously have both, but to just say that Salah is like not this amazing player because he's really direct and he just gets the job done just feels very silly to me.
And maybe that's why I like him as a footballer, because I've said it so many times on the terrace, that directness I like. Of course, I appreciate the Messis of this world, who, by the way, I don't think is necessarily indirect in the way he plays. Like when he dribbles, he kind of dribbles towards that goal very, very quickly. He just does it in a different way. The fact is as well, I've seen Mo Salah score at least 3 goals in the English Premier League where he's twined up an entire defense and buried it. Yeah. And he's also done that against top teams. Like he hadn't done it against Norwich, Norwich and West Brom and who's another really poor Derby County. The man's done it against some of the best teams that the Premier League has ever seen. I think it's hugely disrespectful. You get the same thing said about Son. Son's just, he runs in behind and puts the ball in the back of the net. Have you seen how good his technique at striking the ball is? The hardest skill in football is scoring goals. So if you've got a man, by the way, that can do the flicks, the tricks, the drag backs, the step overs, the Cruyff turns, dribble inside, outside, cross, run, header, and score at a higher rate, then fine, you can say that player is better than Mo Salah. But if you've got someone that does all those things, but barely creates chances and barely scores, they don't even get to talk to Mo Salah. They're not even on the same planet because scoring the goals is harder than all those other skills. If you've got those skills and the goals, then you're absolutely complete. Well done. But without the goals, without the assists, what are you? You're a lingerie shop without a window. No, that's it.
And you know what it is? We love, as a football fan base right now, for some reason, we love to focus on what players can't do. To focus on players that can't do. So if you can't do X, then that means you're not good. And that it's not just like if you can't do a flick like a elastico, that means you're not good. But even players, if like you say, Terry, like I know goals are the hardest thing to do, but some people are like, well, if you can't score goals, then you must be not good. But no, it depends on what they're there to do, you know what I mean, and what their job is, and what are they actually good at. Sometimes we just need to look at footballers for what they are and be like, what do you do well? Is it good enough for me to be like, yeah, you're a good footballer? Like that. I think that's
do you know why I know goal scoring is the hardest skill? And listen, there's loads of hard skills in football. When you're coming up, whether it's Sunday League, through academies, if you're a prolific goal scorer, you stay up near the top of the pitch. The worse you are at goal scoring, the worse your touch is, the worse your passing is, the more they move you back into a point where you're either in goal or you're doing what I used to do, and that's running the lines. I was the linesman on Sundays. It's the same at every level to a certain degree. Now, of course, players develop things and they find themselves. I'm sure when Lampard was coming through, they maybe didn't expect him to become so good at goal scoring. He worked on that skill. His biggest asset was actually timing those runs into the box. And he was a good finisher, but he wasn't such a good finisher. They went, right, well, let's not buy a number 9. Let's put Lampard as a striker. Because, of course, you've got to be able to hold the ball up. Yeah. There's different skill sets that are required for strikers compared to goal scoring midfielders. But scoring goals is the most important skill set a footballer can have. And nearly every pundit, every professional, every manager I've ever heard talk has said that exact thing. So until they start telling us something different, our opinions don't count over the facts coming from the professionals in this world. I listen to my doctor when he says breathing is the most important thing for you to do. I listen to football professionals when they say goal scoring is the hardest thing. That's my take on it. But viewers, make sure like buttons are being smashed. We're going to do some more calls here. We're going to speak to a Spurs fan. Dan's with us. Another victory in the Champions League for Antonio Conte. They are rare, by the way, as rare as rocking horse poo. But Danny's here with us. What are you saying, me old mate?
One normal day of supporting Tottenham Hotspur is all I ask for. One normal day. Oh my God, this team, like, it's always going to be something crazy in these games. You get penalty misses that almost hit the moon. You get referee giving a second yellow and forgot that he gave the first one. It's literally, it's a roller coaster supporting this team. But I thought it was a very comfortable game until they scored the second goal. I've got to say, I've been a little bit disappointed with Kane. I'm going to have to disagree with you, Terry, because the thing is, when you bring up his goal-scoring ability, we always know that he has that. But the thing is, with Harry Kane, he offers so much more than goal-scoring abilities, than his goal-scoring ability, that it's a bit disappointing when he doesn't, when he just scores goals. Like those stats right there, a stat that it's not that 61 passing percentage is pretty poor, you know. Like, other than the goal scoring, which you already know that he has, he's a world-class player. I'm not doubting him. I'd absolutely love Harry Kane to absolute bits, but he's been a little bit disappointing this season because all he's offered is goals. So I want to see more of that Harry Kane that we always know is there. And his passing ability is not undoubtedly like fantastic. I put him up to the ability of Kevin De Bruyne with his passing ability, but it was been a little bit disappointing this season.
Dan, is Kane Messi or Ronaldo?
No.
So why are you expecting him to do absurd things of that level when he's already like a world-class player? Like, you sound like because you're not scoring and assisting every game and doing, again, fancy things all the time, you're upset with him. That doesn't make sense.
No, I'm not upset with him. At the end of the day, strikers, their main role is to put the ball in the back of the net. Another thing that a lot of Spurs fans have been talking about is that Conte also hasn't instructed him to play that deep, like Jose Mourinho has when he got all those assists in that season where he won the most creative player in the league award. So that could be a bit of part of it, but like, you even look at the passing stats. I expect Harry Kane to have better passing. And that's just in general with the team. Like, when people blame the way that we're playing on Conte, I actually don't. Because you actually look at the tactics are fine. The tactics don't have any like fault in this. The problem with how we're playing is that the passes are too sloppy. We make too many dumb passes. You've got Emerson Royale who can't control football. That's the point that's disappointing. But Harry Kane, he's world class undoubtedly. I know he's up there with the best strikers in the world. And I am a little bit disappointed with him, but I know he's had a good season. I know he's going to start, like, that passing ability is not going to go away for the whole season. I know he's going to start, like, picking up, like, that passing ability back. So I don't doubt him one bit, but it's a little bit, like, this season it's been a little bit disappointing. But other than that, his goal scoring is still there for sure.
Yeah, listen, I hear that. And by the way, I want to ask you a question. Why have you got a Champions League trophy in your bedroom?
I've got to find one. I got at least know what it looks like. I need to know what a trophy looks like. I need to know what a trophy looks like, Terry.
Is it a little one because you were runners up?
Oh, come on, get out of here. You said, Terry, yesterday that Tottenham are going to go to the Europa League.
Up. They want what? Jess wants one as well because you runners up in it, weren't you, as well?
Yeah, I'll take one of those as well.
There we go.
You said yesterday we're going to be in the Europa League.
This is true. Well, you might not be. We'll see you there soon, hopefully. Listen, I'll see you soon, Danny boy. Take care, mate. All the best. Thank you. People in the comments saying he's looking a bit older. He does look like he's
literally. I've blinked.
Well, he's at that age. He's at that age, isn't it? He's at that age where if you don't see him for 2 months, he can turn back up next week. Man's got beard, shoulders.
Next week's gonna have 2 kids.
Yeah, he's gonna come on and be like, "Yeah, all right, everyone. Yeah, sorry, my voice has changed. Yeah, it's great. I wanted to speak about another striker that played tonight. What was your thoughts on a certain Darwin Nunez tonight? He did score, but no chances created, no assists, possession lost 9 times, good pass completion rate. But what was the take on Darwin today?
So I guess for me, I'd like this. I wanted to know kind of what Liverpool fans were thinking about this as well, because going into such an important game, Jota looks good, Firmino looks good, Salah looks good. You could drop him and not play him, because even though, people are kind of clutching for straws saying that he's looking really, getting better and better, he's not really fitting in. And it feels like Liverpool want to go kind of back to the way that they played before, having technical players through the middle, being able to make those connections, being a lot more fluid. It feels like that's where the players, how they want to express themselves. And having Darwin Nunez up there is a little bit of like, it's a wrinkle. It's a wrinkle that I don't think they actually have time to be dealing with right now. He's a player that, you know, is going to need more, more. And I don't know if they can wait around for him right now, because there's 3 players that are playing really well. You could bring Fabinho back in. You know, there's other things that you could do to make sure that you don't get slapped against City. You know?
Like watching him today, I know he scored, but I watched him today. I was like, yo, thank the Lord we didn't sign him. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the third part of the United starter pack. That's the third part.
Darwin Nunez is. One of the reasons why I don't think Salah's done well this season either. I'm not trying to put all the blame onto him, like he is the sole reason, but because he plays so differently to Mane and the attack is so different to what he's used to, it's changed. I've heard a lot of Liverpool fans saying how they've taken Salah from the inside forward that they used to see in the scoring the goals to the creator on the wing, because they're trying to put this guy in and make him sure that he's worth the 85 million euros that they bought him for. And he right now is not the guy. You know, right now he's not the guy. And if you're gonna build an attack around him, I think what you do what Benfica did, put him on the left, allow Firmino to play him in, and maybe you might see a different. But him right now in the center of the pitch,
especially with Firmino coming into form, playing so well, you kind of have to. And what is going to be the cost of having Darwin Nunez in your team right now? What is that cost? How many goals? How many points? You know, because Liverpool cannot just be dropping these points unless they're going to say we are rebuilding and we're willing to let these points just go to the wayside for the sake of rebuilding for the long term. I'm not sure that that's really where they're at.
Look, I agree. Look, I think when I look at Darwin, the one thing about players that are unpleasing on the eye is when they have bad games, it protrudes. You see it's smelly. And I know he scored tonight, but there were so many times where the ball gets played into him and his touch is a pass. It bounces off his legs. His feet get all muddled up in front of him, and he slows down the flow of play, which is one of the reasons why I think Mo Salah's being asked. And if you look at his heat maps, Salah, from last year to this year, you see him out wide more, and he is being requested, and it's fair because you do that. You make sacrifices for your team as an individual player. The idea is use Mo Salah out wide more. He'll create the opportunities for Darwin, but Darwin isn't making the right runs at times. When the ball's being fed into him, he isn't holding it upright. And I know they kind of changed the formation to like 4-2-3-1 to kind of give him either Jota or Firmino behind him to give him some support. And they are really trying to build a team where there's a lot of support mechanisms for Darwin. And I'm not saying he shouldn't play. He needs to be played. He needs to develop. He needs time. But I think this season, I don't think will be the season where he clicks and you look at him as a world-class player. I think by the end of this season, there'll be question marks over whether or not he was worth the money. However, I think they've got to give him time. What I do like about him, he works hard. He never gives up. There are some players we've seen that have been a little bit poor as the leading number 9 at big clubs in England. Lukaku's an example, who once it starts going wrong, I feel like they down tools. I feel they stop working, they stop trying. And Darwin Nunez has that about him. If somebody's willing to work, if somebody's willing to put in the yards, the effort, and to try, they can turn it round. But I know he scored tonight, but I felt overall it was a pretty poor performance from him. When you're coming up against Man City at the weekend, you kind of need to pick all the players who are on form right now. And I sort of feel that they've got to pack that midfield anyway. I think you put Jota on that left-hand side. I think Firmino starts in the middle, and you've got to go with a 6-minute hat-trick man, Mo Salah, on the right. I think that's what they're going to have to do if they're to get anything out of this game against City.
Yeah, just a quick thought, Say if you wanted to keep Darwin Nunez in his team, is a double false 9 a thing? Do you have like Jota and Firmino up top, but then you got like Mo Salah and Nunez just scoring goals, like double false 9 thing, like help facilitate one for each one to hold each other's hand, you know?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure that Liverpool have a way that they have anticipated using Darwin Nunez up to this point, but galaxy braining it now feels a little bit like, okay, we're grasping for something. But I think, Darwin Nunez, he can play against the lower level opposition where maybe it's not as risky, and Liverpool, don't have to worry so much about dropping points. But coming up to this game against Manchester City, they're off of the back of a really good win. You want to keep that going, and you have players in form. And this is where I would expect Klopp to make an important decision. And I see people saying like 4-2-2-2. I think you have to get him off the pitch. Like, I just think you have to get him off the pitch and let the players play the way that they want to. They look so much better today, I thought. Like, Firmino looked really good. Salah looked good. Just keep playing off of that.
Yeah, no doubt at all. I've got a super chat here I want to go to that says, in my opinion, Mbappe, what does that say? Scaled PSG. I don't understand what that means. I'm confused.
300 million signing on bonus plus huge salary, only to quit after 4 months to join Real Madrid.
Cool, but what does he mean by scaled?
I think he means scammed.
Scammed. Scammed. Yeah, that'll be the M. Cool. Yeah, that's what threw me off. Yeah, I don't think he scammed them, because if he leaves, he's not going to get that money. I think he's just made a mistake. And I think for me, we said this so many times on here, this kind of League is not the league. As much as there are definitely issues at PSG. Why? The way managers leave. There's loads of things wrong with that football club. We know this because there's been multiple stories aside from Mbappe. Luis Campos wants to leave. So there are broken promises. At the same time, he's playing in a league that the French people don't even watch. The French people don't watch it. And he wants to be the world's biggest star. And I think there's an element of that I get and understand. He's seeing Haaland get all the attention, Phil Foden getting all the attention, and Bellingham getting all the attention globally. Their names are trending regularly. Haaland's like Mbappe. No, Mbappe's name trends when Haaland's trending, because people go, "Where's Mbappe?" His name's mentioned. We're like, "Oh, he's clear of Mbappe." That's why Mbappe trends now when people say Haaland is clear, and he doesn't want it anymore. So I don't think he scammed them. He can't really scam a team like PSG, but yeah, I get why he wants the league 110%. To scale is slang to steal. Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
See, I watched Top Boy to keep up with the modern day slang, and it's gone.
I thought they were talking about scaling a mountain. Like he's gotten too big for them. He's gotten to the. I don't know. I was lost.
I've never heard the phrase scaled in my life. But you know who else? You know who else is good at scaling, stealing, and robbing, and doing up fraud? Barcelona. Listen.
KJ wants to talk about this so bad.
I'm so mad. I am so mad that these frauds are not out yet. Like, listen, I know they're already going to be in a position where it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
They have to hope that Inter drop points to a team like Victoria, and then also get things out of that Victoria game, and also against Bayern Munich. I understand that they're not fully out, but this is the thing. The pain that would have been caused today if they went out today in their own gaff, after leading at the start, after making an epic comeback, and then to concede right in the depths. Yeah. It would have been so beautiful.
But sorry,
mad.
Neeks has got a great comment here though. He says it's even better now, KJ. It's the hope that kills them. Yeah. It's like prolonging it now. It's death by 1,000 cuts.
You think? Nah. I'm a guy. Like, in certain situations, yes, death by 1,000 cuts. But sometimes one clean swipe cut off the snake's head. I needed to see that tonight, and Inter Milan did not deliver. But I will say, Lewandowski is sick. Like Lewandowski is insane.
Yeah,
and I was ready to cuss him as well, but I couldn't, because he came up with 2 goals. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, 2 clutch goals to keep them, in the contest. And that's the thing. I feel like this was a classic Champions League type match where there's 2 teams kind of flawed that are going at each other because they have to. They both needed to win. Obviously, it ended up in a draw. But now this leaves it where Barcelona are going to be desperate, and hopefully we get a good match for Barcelona versus Bayern, because I thought the first time that they played each other, I thought it was tame. Thought it was boring for 2 teams that have so much quality. So it'd be nice to see those 2 teams really battle.
Where is it being played? In Munich or in
Barcelona? I think
it's about.
Barcelona. It's going to be a good
But
game in
isn't that what
Barcelona.
we need? We need teams actually going at it. You know,
Yeah,
Well,
we need that.
what I loved about that game tonight, and I know I've said this a few times, I know no one wanted the Super League because there was no jeopardy. But I think in reality, people were like, and including UEFA, including Gary Neville, were like, the Super League's a good damn idea because every game is big. Every game's important. And Inter Milan's game tonight versus Barca reminded me of so many group games that I watched through the 90s, through the noughties, where every group, there was nearly always at least one team in it that were tough, and then there was a team that were a little bit of an underdog that could beat you. Very rarely did you have this many whipping boys in Europe, and I feel now that there are so many teams that are so easy to beat. Generally, every now and then you get a shock, but how many times have we seen like the poor teams take the lead against the big teams? You think, it could be a shock tonight, and then in the second half, they get a slap in. And I think for me, I know UEFA loves what it's doing. They're trying to spread football, make the competition bigger. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I think they've got to shrink the Champions League, shrink the Europa League, shrink the Conference League, make them all better with quality, but imagine there was only 5-6 groups and whatever it is, 4, 5, 6 groups, but every game was like the Barca Inter game from the group stages onwards. That for me is when the Champions League was at its absolute peak best. And that game tonight was testament to that.
Let's make a comment about the old UEFA Cup. Like, it also makes the Europa League better because the second tier teams of the Champions League are in one cubic competition together, and it'll be sick.
That's what people want to see.
Yeah. Like literally, I actually want, as much as it makes Man United's chances to win the Europa League a lot harder. Bring Barcelona, bring Atleti, bring Ajax, bring who else could be there? I don't know. Bring these teams that shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
bring it there.
Or get rid. Or get rid of groups. I know they're bringing a new one out. I would have got rid of group stages and then seeded teams, like in tennis, so that it's knockout stages straight away, but you also ensure that the best 2 teams in Europe cannot meet into the final, as an example. Like something like maybe you get to the quarterfinals and you do a random draw, whatever it is. But you would get jeopardy straight away, teams dropping out. You can't afford a bad game. Like the way Chelsea started this season in the Champions League, they'd be out irrespective of sacking their manager and they'd be gone. I think they just got to do. The one thing I would say is 80% of the group games are so hard to watch. The knockout stages are amazing, but the group stages can be, and a lot of groups now are done. So that means the last 2 games they're not even important.
It's like dead
rubbers. They are changing it in 2024. So there's gonna be some mad reform. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna do the Super League.
Yeah,
they're gonna do the Super League and they're gonna own it.
There's already what historical positions or like coefficient places for teams of a certain caliber.
Just think that Super League, the only reason it failed is because there was no relegation or promotion. If they would have put that in, it would have happened. It would have happened because if it was worth that much money as well, by the way, every team would go, right, well, I think that we can develop a team that's good enough to get into that. Every club would have voted for it and been happy with it. But there we go. We're going to bring Roms on. Before we do that, though, I want to say a big shout out again to our title sponsors tonight. Please go and get the Top Kicks 23 app downloaded now. Lots of brand new cards available for you, and there's loads of great things to do on there as well that I've been discovering the last few days. Not only using the stores where you get your packs and open them in the fantasy games, you can craft your own cards, make your own cards. There's trading capabilities, and I know you, like me, used to go to school with your Topps cards and other collectibles, and you would sit there in the playground and you'd swap, sometimes like one shiny for two normal cards, things like that. You can do exactly the same thing online with this app. If you're like me and you enjoy collecting sort of football cards and multiple games that come with them, get Topps downloaded now because they really and truly are the best in the business. You can scan that QR code, or you can click on the link pinned to our live comment section. Roms is a Liverpool fan. He's with us now. What are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I hope everyone in the studio is well. But first things first, I'm happy. I'll start off on the positive because we won, and that's something we don't normally do nowadays, so you can't take it for granted. And I just want to obviously, I'm going to praise Bobby and Salah, meaning I'm the main two. Salah scoring a hat-trick within 6 minutes. I believe it's the quickest in Champions League history. And Bobby, I think he's leveled Gerrard with UCL assists now, or he's gone ahead of Gerrard. But there's 3 players I want to give praise to for different reasons. Elliott and Carvalho, they matured throughout this game. First half, they succumbed to Rangers' daunting atmosphere. And I must say, I do feel the injury to Goldson did help. But the way they matured through the game, because the first half wasn't great from either of them. There were misplaced passes. I think they were playing a bit within themselves. And also Ibu Kanate, because at 1-0, he makes a block that was vital to us going ahead and scoring at the other side. Because if they go 2-0 up, we could have been speaking about a different story. However, now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but
be it, bro. Be it.
we're not back. We're not back because it's a 7-1 win. It's amazing, but we've got pedigree in the Champions League, and we do this in the Champions League. But I want to see 4 to 5 consecutive wins in the league now. I'm not even thinking about City. Our league starts again. Our season kick starts again for West Ham. But you can't just say we're back off this result. You just can't. You can't just say suddenly we're back because we battered the Rangers side. And if we're being honest, we should be.
Look at you guys. Look at you guys, man. You've been in the trenches for 2 months. And it's now panic stations. Oh, our season starts in next
starts
week.
At West Ham.
It starts at West Ham, bro. Fam, look at me and Jess and Terry. We've been in the trenches. We've been here.
There's still negatives because we're still conceding first. They look like they could open us apart the first half. There's still things. I look at the intricacies and there's still things to worry about because that could be the same scoreline on Sunday.
What else you need to worry about? Haaland was rested.
Exactly.
Haaland was rested and your players were not. They're coming. No,
big up Joe Gomez as well. Joe Gomez.
Oh,
So
very nice ball. Very nice ball for this.
That was Cenk Alexander-Arnold S. So you have to big up Joe Gomez. But
who needs Trent when you've got a defensive right back that can put in that ball? You know what I mean?
That can actually defend. But Elliot Cavalier I was proud of because they showed maturity. Second half, they came out flying. And I think they're not going to get the headlines at Bobby and Salah, but I think they were very vital to our win tonight.
That's good. Yeah, 2 really good young players that are learning on the job.
Yeah,
you know, and it's weird because Liverpool are the type of team you guys don't really have anybody in between. You have some really experienced players, and then you have 2 really young players that are just like we're just here. So yeah, you kind of just have to wait for them to kind of cook and get ready, right?
Rams. The question is though, it's not about West Ham. Because you do have Man City next.
Who are you starting up front?
What are you starting
up front?
Like, what do you do now, Rams? Like, what is Klopp's next move to get something out of this game, man?
I do agree with Jess earlier when she's saying maybe we shouldn't start Nunez, but where he scored and it will be good for it. He's a confidence player. I feel like once he gets a goal, regardless what your opinion of Nunez, once he gets a goal, you have to play him. And I do feel, look, I think we're going to get carved open regardless, but I do feel you have to play Salah, Nunez, and Andrew, all of them. And yeah, you have to play all 4 of them because I don't want to revert back to type. I don't want the same 4-3-3 that we've played for the last 4 or 5 years. I want to evolve now, and I'd rather give it a go and get battered than play a more pragmatic way and try and get a result because we are at home. If this is at the Etihad, different story, but we are at home. We're gonna have our fans watching. We need to give the fans something. But I still start Nunez. I understand why people may not, but he's just scored and I still start him.
See, just the double false 9 thing, bro. He wants it.
Well,
he wants it.
I think Liverpool played 4 attackers against us. I mean, yeah. I can see why you would continue on with that. Fabinho hasn't been in the best form, so you just play Henderson and Thiago and try to go with that and see how it goes. You know, there you go. I would drop him.
Let's be honest as well. Like we have seen City's defensive deficiencies. Newcastle showed us, and Palace showed us. So if you do have a go at them, you can somewhat cling on to something. But it will be a hard game.
Rob's looking to my eyes. Look into my eyes. Say that again. The defensive deficiency. Say it again, Ron, with chest.
Ron, my mate, listen, I appreciate you coming on and having your say this evening, mate. Take care. We'll speak to you again soon. I was just checking while you were all talking, actually. Yeah, Drogba and Sergio Aguero both had 36 Champions League goals each. They're the joint record for an English club. and Mo Salah's now gone on to 38. So, and I believe he's got more than, I swear Mo Salah must have scored. I'm going to assume he scored at least one for another team. So he might have more than that in total, but 38.
Roma, I think.
Yeah, he must have scored one for Roma or Basel. I swear he scored against Chelsea with Basel. Maybe Europa League. I don't know. But yeah, but he's got 38. No, and this is the point when people, I know we're going back a little bit again, but when people sit there and say he can't be a good footballer, I often say to them, well, who do you compare him to? Like, what level of a footballer is he on? And they'll name footballers who have scored like 30 goals in their entire career. Yeah. And you just think this guy's got 38 Champions League goals. He can't be. People do it with Danny Welbeck and Rashford. And they say things like, same level. Rashford, I think, has already got more goals.
No, he's got more goals. Terry, he's 2 away from 100 goals for Manchester United at the age of 24/20.
Playing in the worst Man United team since the war. like statistically speaking, or top flight team since then. It's one of those things. It's a nonsense. You don't have to like. I just want to say it again when checking it. You don't have to like Mohamed Salah. You don't. But to call him a bad football player is just a bad football opinion.
It's funny, yeah. You see these man them, yeah, that call certain players bad, yeah. I would love for there to be a project where they find these people, offer them a chance to do like 11-a-side or 7-a-side, and bring like someone like Mo Salah with them to experience playing.
Maybe this is obviously you know what's coming for the terrace very, very soon. All will be revealed very, 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 very soon. Maybe that's something we can try and do with our new partners. Is get a player like Scott McTominay, who all the online, the online ballers that think they could play footballers, go, right, you're literally going to go into a half a 5-a-side pitch, you versus you, first to 5 goals, see what happens. I bet you McTominay looks like Ronaldinho next to these guys, 100%, and destroys them. One shoulder barge, and I bet some of these guys don't even want to get back into the
Terry, it's the fitness, bro. They'll go 5 minutes and be gassed. And McTominay will be like, cool, this is light work.
But no, I guarantee it. That's what maybe we should do. Would you guys like to see that, viewers? We'll get one of the I'm a baller Twitter guys to go up against a professional footballer that they think is absolutely average and see who wins. And maybe we won't just do head-to-head. We'll do like skills challenge, headers and volleys. Like we'll do a cross. We'll kind of do loads of different skill challenges and see who comes out on top. Yeah. That, for me, no one's done that kind of content. I mean, I don't know if the players would agree to do it in case they lost. Imagine they lost. Can you imagine?
Literally, it's a win-win for us. The scenes, if they lost, win-win.
And what we'll do is make it that I will join in. I'll also... I will participate.
Keep ups, man. He almost lost balance, fam. Like it's peak.
I bad knees, bad hips, get a bit of vertigo. It's all there. Mama Flossie wants to see it, as do others. But listen, we'll get that done. I know there's lots more people backstage, but we can't take any more calls tonight. I'm very, very sorry, and I do appreciate you all waiting so patiently. I do. There's loads of you waiting. There's like 12, 13 of you. I can't get to you all, so I'm really, really sorry. I want to say thank you to all of our super chats tonight. I think I might have missed one actually. Terry, can you give
a shout out to my nan Deborah?
Deborah. She died last week. I'm very, very sorry to hear about the passing of your grandmother, Deborah. Very, very sad news indeed. It really is. I don't know why I think you're trolling me, but just in case you're not, I'm going to say, like, rest in peace, Nana Debs. As a Chelsea fan, just a friendly message for Christiansen, Lever, and Kunde. Hold that, you Judas. What's that word say? I can't read that word.
Judas Iscariot. Like that's his full name.
Oh, is that the surname of the bad man?
Yeah. That's
the man who G'd up Jesus. Yeah, him. They rejected Champions League for
Why did he include Lewer? Oh wait, because they didn't buy you.
Well, Lewandowski said no to Chelsea.
They forgot Rafinha as well.
You could add Rafinha onto that list.
Dembele, maybe.
Dembele, yeah. You can add loads of people onto that list that said no to Chelsea. Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? That is literally embarrassing.
Chelsea are loving this. Like the Chelsea fans in the chat have been going in. I love this for them because this summer was insane between Chelsea.
You know
and
what? They could add De Jong to that list as well. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not, bro? You know what I mean?
De Jong, add them all. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every one of you. More content tomorrow. Ben Jacobs in the morning. I'm probably going to do another I'm Scared video tomorrow. No, I'm joking. That's not coming tomorrow. And of course, match reactions to
the best
European competition on Thursday nights. Man United, I think
Liverpool.
Arsenal were on first, right?
Yeah, Arsenal first.
Arsenal first, Man United second. We'll be live on that, so make sure you're tuning in. And then over Friday, we're going to have previews for the weekend. The Top 6 show is back. Saturday morning, the 12th man is out. Grizz Khan is on. We are looking for a Man City fan. Big Steve was going to do it, but he's actually in Paris. He's going to be away, so we're looking for a Man City fan, but we'll get that all sorted for you all soon. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Make sure you download Tops, because I'm beating KJ easily
Next week.
Battering you.
No.
Viewers, who do you think's winning next week? Me or KJ? Or the next Champions League weeks? Who's winning?
Yo, he didn't even know how to press start before I showed up.
Don't tell people that.
So I'm telling you now, I guarantee you, I'll be Terry next week.
There we go. People, look after yourselves, and we'll see you all again soon. Peace.